guys, welcome back. It's our last day of the trip. We are leaving our campground here around Kennebec Pass, and today we're going to be riding Junction Creek Trail all the way down to Durango to end the ride straight into the city. Today's mostly a descending ride. We are at about 11,500. We get to go down to Durango, which is at about 6,500. So you can do the math.
Oh man, hammer down.
A little tight on the trees here. Ow, ow, ow. That scratched me. So we heard that the top is a little exposed, and after the exposed top section, we go back into the tree line, and it should get a lot better. A little less exposure, some faster speeds, a little bit flowier. It's feeling a little loose today. Need to warm up a bit. Holy, that was a little bit scary. That's loose rock, bunch of talus, massive exposure. I'm not working that hard physically, but mentally, you have no f***ing idea.
Unfortunately, this is the last video on the Colorado Trail. Fortunately though, it was one of the most fun days with just 2 short climbs throughout. One before the section you just saw, and one halfway through the ride. That first rocky section was so crazy to ride. In some spots, it seemed like you were on an off-camber rock chute where the trail was just barely visible. The descent off of Indian Trail Ridge and this were the most challenging spots in all 5 days. But also, in my opinion, they were the most rewarding ones.
Tree trunk. You can probably tell how quiet I was in the last section. Working hard here, mostly mentally. Like from a physical point of view, I've kind of gotten used to it. Got to start working on those switchbacks a little bit.
The difficulty level of the trail from here on out was definitely less than the other days of riding. That doesn't mean that it was easy though. It means that we had the opportunity to go a bit faster and have some different kind of fun.
Starting to rain a little bit. Hope it's not too much. It's not really because of the riding, but because I have to put the camera away if it rains too much. Getting a little exposure going around here. Section is a little bit wet. The rock is slippery.
Also quickly noticeable was how fast we were losing elevation. The vegetation had gone from barely anything to incredibly dense, and breathing felt so incredibly easy. It's funny that we were still around 9,000 feet, but comparatively to 12,000, it felt like we were almost at sea level. We agreed to regroup just before the midpoint climb at the creek bridge. Right around this point though, the rain started to get a little bit more serious, so I had to forego recording some of this section.
Now we grind. Not done with the downhill though, we have so much elevation still to lose. And I think the next section for downhill is like more wide open, fast.
It had started to rain a little bit, so I had put my camera away. We just climbed about 1,200 feet, if I'm not mistaken. And this is the final stretch of descent. Well, not the final stretch, but there's basically trending downhill now all the way into Durango, despite the fact that we may hit some small climbs.
Now that I'm rewatching the GoPro footage, it's not directly obvious thanks to the more open nature terrain of the trail, but this section was super fast. According to Strava, we were averaging somewhere around 30 miles per hour, or 48 kilometers per hour, in this stretch, and for quite some time at that.
I haven't used my brakes in so long. Yeah, snap the spoke.
Break a nipple, maybe?
Nipple's there. Oh, there I see.
There's not really much that I could do, so I put the broken spoke in my pack and I continued with my ride as if nothing had happened. The trail from here on out got techier. We had to go a bit slower, but it was nice that there was so much variety and we were getting all kinds of fun descending throughout this ride.
Nice line choice there by Philip. Helped me out a lot. Wow. That caught me off guard. Switch back. starting to get a little bit more full of hikers in this area. So, gotta tone it down a bit. Don't want to bomb down into one. Well guys, we're almost at the end. There's a bit more to go, but so as I was saying, the trip is almost over. This is our last big descent before we head out into the paved road to ride back to Durango. I cannot say enough good things about this experience. It has been so incredibly awesome. Brutal climbs, amazing descending, great views, all kinds of different vegetation. You go from high alpine all the way back to Durango desert-like kind of terrain. It's just, it has been everything that I expect. No, it's been a lot more than I expected. I would recommend this blindly to anyone who kind of watches this and sees that the skill level and the physical fitness level is where they want. Just go for it. I cannot believe how much elevation we've lost today.
And on that note, I want to take the opportunity to give you some stats that I think were interesting.
I've kind of lost track of how long we've been descending. Part of the line choice there was not hitting the horse.
And no, for stats, I'm not talking about horse. I put the tracks into Google Earth to analyze the elevation profiles and noticed that on this last day we had a total cumulative loss of elevation of 9,250 feet. That is a lot of descending in one single day. But even more interesting, after joining the tracks for the 4 days we spent on the Colorado Trail, as in not counting day 1 in the linear mountain, we got a total distance traveled of 75 miles with 12,627 cumulative feet climbed and 16,606 descended. That is, for me, the most vert I've ever done in such a short period of time, both up and down without lift assist.
Tricky little spot. So we're officially off the Colorado Trail.
All right, well that concludes the single track.
Awesome!
Yeah. So, yeah. Great job, everybody.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. Super fun ride.
Well guys, that is it for the whole trip. We're officially off the Colorado Trail and heading back towards Durango. Killer trip, man.
Yeah, that was really pretty great.
That was an awesome ride, man.
Yeah, that was great.
Good ride.
A lot of fun.
Super fun, guys.
Well guys, that's it for the Western Spirit Colorado single track trip. I hope you had as much fun joining along as I had making this. I do have one more Colorado video for you, and that's at Trestle Bike Park. I consider myself an okay rider, but this was an absolutely humbling experience, and you'll get to see that next week. I will see you for the next one, and happy riding!